Oh, geez. Gotta be kidding me. What are we doing here? My God.
Jovan in the hospital watching DNVR?
What? Oh, my goodness. Hope you're better. My guys, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR show. Let's go. Bring that energy today. Thursday, feeling the vibes. I got chicken fight later today, guys. We're going to eat some chicken at Elish's.
You're going to a chicken fight?
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Is that legal?
Do they still do that? Is it
Not
your...
a chicken fight, not a rooster fight, you guys. I'm going to a festival. You know what? It doesn't matter, you guys. It doesn't matter.
How am I supposed to know what that means?
Chicken fight.
Can
Maybe
we
at
bet on
Elish's.
this? Is what I'm...
Oh, you can bet on how many chicken wings I'll eat. We got a good show for you today, guys. We're going to be talking about NBA tiers. I like Seth Partnow's NBA tiers. Shouts to Seth Partnow, my homie. He doesn't do it in a ranking. He puts them in tiers, which I know Harrison disagrees. We're going to debate this. I think it makes more sense to tier players than it does to rank them. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to play a new game, Lineup Roulette. Very excited for this one. And then later on the show, some bets on FIBA World Cup. A man wearing a burlap shirt is on the show. His name's Brennan Vogt.
Yeah, almost didn't walk in this, but I'm addicted to the grind.
Man, that is impressive. That's actually really uncomfortable.
I wore an undershirt, sweat right through it, changed in the bathroom.
Really?
You know when
This is going too far.
You know
I
when
gotta
you
say,
bringing a
I love
wardrobe
that shirt.
change.
Thank you so much.
I love that shirt.
It's
You
like
know when you first
That's a
go
shirt I
camping,
could wear.
he's
I love
addicted
that.
to the coffee grind.
you get past the part where camping is scary and new, and then you realize, oh, I need all this equipment now, and there's a way to do it. That's where I'm at with walking to work.
You could just go in a cabin.
Greatly overestimating my interest in your walks. Over here, we got
Stop asking
D-Line.
me what's up.
What's up, guys? I drove today. Drove my car.
Oh, man. Actually,
Do you
that
not
is
care
more
about the
rare than
environment?
his
that actually,
walking.
yeah, I didn't charge the scooter last night.
Oh,
Nothing
what a
worse,
what a
bro.
fail.
Nothing worse.
What a fail. Then over there, Harrison Wind. What did you screw up today?
I can't comment on that. Wow. I'll tell you guys after the show.
Alrighty, there you go. A little tease. Guys, let's get right into it because I do want to kind of break this down. You know, so I said Seth Partnow every year, he doesn't do rankings because, as he's said many times, he hates rankings.
Oh.
Seth Partnow, great analyst, by the way, analytics guy. He was in the front office for the Milwaukee Bucks for a while. Now he's over at The Athletic. And he puts players into tiers. And the reason, and it's a little silly when you think about like, okay, 1A versus 1B. We were having this debate earlier. Is that the same tier? I say no, it's not. But what I like is that it does, in my brain, classify things a little bit better. That there is a difference, 1A to 1B. It's like, okay, they are in that top tier, but we can also separate them into the different groups.
Right, like if we just rank them.
But they're not ranked. That's the point. It's like, no, are you in this tier? There's like a tier where it's like these guys are close enough. And I honestly think most debates that become unhealthy in this type of thing are about splitting hairs. And this kind of says, like, we're not going to split the hairs. We're just going to say, is there a meaningful difference between the quality and caliber of player?
I think that's fair. It is. It really does like take the edge off of like, this guy's 8, he should be 7 or whatever.
Right.
Like, everyone starts yelling about it. But it is ranking. But it's like, it's soft ranking.
Yeah, because then you do 2A, 2B, 2C. Because you're ranking within the
It is,
tiers.
but
But
then
there's
you
also
always just be
ties.
like,
Three guys that are 1A.
For sure. I quite like Seth.
So-
smart guy. Giving him a hard time.
I'm looking at best centers of 2023 by tier. Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid are definitely both in tier 1.
Yeah, but are they both in tier 1A?
They're both in tier 1.
Are they in tier 1A?
That's a separate tier?
I'm just saying it is different. He is differentiating between the idea that these are both elite MVP caliber players, but one is just a
Is
little
ranked
bit different.
just slightly ahead.
And that's the whole point. So now that we'll get right into it, 1A. So this is the very top tier and sub tier. 1A is Jokic, who, by the way, for the second time is showing up in here. Seth Partnow
Right.
early on this last year having him in. I would say he's late on it and that he hasn't had him in for 4 years, which I think is appropriate. But I'm not going to split hairs. Seth Partnow's tier is still in 1A to me.
this is the new world that we have found ourselves in, where the Nuggets are getting pre-respect as opposed
Yeah.
to where we always just like, would you pay attention? Like, give them some respect. Now they're like arriving with respect. That's why it's going to be the year of Jamal Murray.
Thank you.
Seth didn't come out and say Yoke's the best player, but he did.
He did.
But he kind of did.
Well, he did.
Yeah, and he's got
Tier 1A.
who else is Tier 1A?
There's nothing above Tier 1A.
Giannis and Steph.
They're Tier 1A. Oh, that was just by centers.
That was just by center.
I
just
see.
center.
I
No,
see.
Steph and Giannis. And here, can I tell you
All
guys
right,
something?
fair enough.
Any of them could be the best player.
Any of them
Fair
could
enough.
be. He does cop out. He's not doing an actual ranking to where he actually gives the number one. But he is. Here's what I like about it. I agree. To me, I agree that in tier 1B is KD, Luka, and Embiid, not in the same tier. Different, meaningfully different, and should be categorized different than Jokic, Giannis, and Steph.
I agree.
That's why I like this, because when you put things in order, it almost feels like 3 is closer to 4 or what have you. I'm like, no. To me, those 3 guys have proven to be able to carry a team to a championship as the best player and not as a close second guy right there. Like, no, definitively the best player on their teams. That's why I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I think those are the 3. I think Steph is the biggest ceiling raiser in the league, and I think Giannis and Jokic are the biggest floor raisers in the league, where if they're on your team, your regular season will go well, right, in general terms. I think they're the 3 guys that if you have them on your roster, you can even make some mistakes and still build a bona fide contender.
Right.
They're the 3 guys, and I'm right now in 2023, a part of me feels like Jokic and Giannis maybe are slightly ahead of Steph.
I agree.
But I also there's like a respect for Steph that I'm not ready to flush down the drain.
He also
like,
just did it.
I know that's the thing.
1 year ago.
That's a weird title that almost gets kind of like, oh, they won again. But I mean, that's an insane title for them to come back and win. So Steph is still in this category, but I do wonder if those 2 guys are ready to separate.
Yeah, I got Jokic and Giannis in, I guess, tier 1A together.
Would you rather instead of 1A and 1B, it just was tier 1, tier 2?
Yes.
All right, so you're just tripped up on the.
Or
Like,
you just would rather be number 1 and number 2.
I would rather rankings. But I would have Jokic and Giannis in tier 1A. I would have Steph Curry in tier 1B, I guess.
would he be with KD and Luka and Embiid, or would he be kind of in his own
No,
tier?
I'd have him in a separate tier 1B by himself. And
Okay.
I'd have those guys below. I'm looking at the best centers. And like I said, he's got Jokic 1A, Embiid 1B, Anthony Davis 2B. I would have...
Ooh, I love it. Let's get. I love that we're now Anthony Davis standing.
I think I might have Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis in a similar tier.
I agree. The difference is probably, and this is weird, that Anthony Davis hasn't played as much as Embiid. That's weird.
crazy.
Isn't that weird?
And it was in the bubble. I will say this. As a matter of fact,
go.
Anthony Davis has showed up in a playoff run in a way Embiid has not done.
great
Maybe never
take.
will. By the way, I don't know if AD is ever going to replicate that, but he did do it, right? He was that guy in the period that mattered.
He was also, here's the funny thing. This is where you would never get everything. Jokic so thoroughly murdered the Lakers that we have erased the fact that Anthony Davis had a great playoffs.
A great playoff.
Great. Anthony Davis had an incredible playoffs this year.
he run
People
into
talk
the worst
about
guy.
Anthony Davis's playoff run as a best defensive run from a big in the postseason
Yep.
ever.
And you know what? I think
That's
they're
like
right.
a
I think they're
commonly
right.
accepted take.
Eric, how great is this? They're right.
And they might be right, yeah.
Yeah, to me, it makes it like Joel Embiid is getting the current MVP bump.
Yeah.
Like you
He
have to
is.
say like these are the MVPs, and then this is the best
Good
guy
point,
that's
good
not
point.
an MVP, and so if I were to rank them, I'd go 1, 2, 3.
When the thing is, when you do these things and when you're operating from a national perspective, you start to understand like these differentiators. Do they have a ring? Do they have MVPs? They can feel reductive, but they're perfectly viable, like differentiators when you're really trying to figure out who's the best of the
This
best.
is every
You know what I mean?
because
Embiid did win an MVP.
It is impossible to absorb all NBA play from every
course.
NBA player.
Right.
The nuance is washed away. Obviously, there's like all of these things that we know that we were just pounding the table that people would absorb in the slightest way about Nikola Jokic. We're like, God damn it. Like there's so many things that you're just not paying attention to. You think you understand because you're looking at the numbers. Yeah, there are all these like little markers that you use. But in the offseason, it's that's all there is. Like that's why it's important that like we cry about Jokic getting some kind of title, an MVP, first team All NBA, all this stuff, because when all is washed away.
You're
This is
right.
all that remains that people use to give
Such a good point.
the standing to
Right.
and the respect level to players.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? Like, good on people for using them. They matter. Like, Embiid, the playoff thing is a real talking point.
Man, you guys saw. Should we go
that
through
thread? But I do just
One
want
of
to
the
say,
greatest Twitter threads of all time.
I do just want to say, as a matter of fact, though, he did go win that MVP, right? Regardless of your perspective on
did.
Yoke's role in it. And so I understand doing rankings and saying, hey, man, this guy won an MVP. He gets slotted over non-MVPs. But also, I want to say, I love this shit. I love getting righteously indignant about it.
Yeah.
To me, this is, I know everyone feels like an enlightened basketball fan now who's like above every bit of discourse. I love this stuff. I remember being in college, just like Chris Bosh or Kevin Love, and talking about it for 2 hours.
It's the crux of every NBA discussion.
It's what we're doing.
Who's better?
It's fun.
But here's what's funny is we're not even indignant about our guy now. We're indignant about two guys we don't like. We're like arguing on behalf of
It's
Anthony
like
Davis
we won
now.
the championship. Now, because we were right about everything, we need everything slotted and ranked and tiered exactly how we think it should be.
Can we have
and
some fun?
Because
We're
we
here
know
to-
more than everyone. We need every tier and every ranking and every list to be perfect according to
I'm
us.
going to do
now.
some elite podcasting here and read some tweets. Kel, you could bring these up while I go. No, it's actually fun. It is going to make for a good one. Is playoff. This comes from Brick Muse, by the way. I don't know anything about this account. It might be the worst
Probably
account
an
ever.
offshoot of StatMuse, I'm guessing.
But I think it's an unauthorized.
Except unauthorized. And
Is
also
it like a ball sack sports version of
Yeah,
I think it's just like
StatMuse?
bad stats, negative stats for players version of
Yeah,
stat
there's
news.
definitely gonna be like Brick VN DNVR.
Yeah, something like
Point
that.
in the-
Is playoff Joel Embiid a generational choker? Off to a great start. That's a
my
great
God.
headline, okay?
Great catchy
The evidence behind the
clickbait
fraud
headline.
accusations, a thread, okay?
God.
Let's go through this. The best team he's beaten in the playoffs is the 2022 fifth-seeded Raptors, led by Siakam and Fred VanVleet. That's
check.
the best team.
True.
Fact check, true. Unbelievable. He averaged 22 points per game on 49% true shooting in 9 elimination games. That's really bad. Remember how it's like, oh, who do you want to get a bucket when you absolutely need a bucket? 22 points a game in those games. Terrible
But
efficiency.
he's the most dominant.
And most dominant. Again, this is, number 3. In no playoff run has he ever averaged more assists than turnovers.
This is my favorite one. This is absolutely my favorite one.
In no playoff run. Not a single playoff run did he have like 2.2 assists, 1.8 turnovers.
Yeah, it's like I'm no Drew Hanlon, but I would work on your passing.
I just think that the Hawks aren't double teaming in February. And
Yeah.
Embiid's like, I'm going for 40 tonight.
I don't
I'm
know, bro.
going-
That Clint Capella, John Collins tandem, that could shut a lot of bigs down.
I love this one because it's the kind of stuff the 76ers fans try to throw at us all year. He's the only MVP in NBA history to never make the conference finals.
Oh, how is this
Remember,
real life?
That was like a literal thing they used to say to us, and it's like they threw it, it bounced and hit them, and like, oh crap.
It actually feels dirty to use it.
I know.
Like I didn't want to go there.
It's
I
like
know.
I know how it feels to have that thrown at me.
I actually
It does not feel good.
my favorite is to defend Joel Embiid. It is a regular season
It is a
award,
regular
guys. It's a
season
regular
award,
season
yeah.
award.
It's gotten to the point where I feel like the discourse against Embiid is I feel a little bit like uncomfortable with how hard
Because everyone's on
how
the same
hard
page.
the world is
No
going because
way,
he's like
man.
an incredible player, but like now
You're getting
I
soft
need
in your
to
old
see
age.
a ranking of who's under the most pressure next season.
All right, here we go. We should do that on tomorrow's
Because I saw
show.
that a lot last year.
Tomorrow's show, we got to do that. I love that, Harrison. This year, he had the biggest point per game drop from the regular season to the playoffs of any MVP in history.
Oh, here's some fun juxtaposition. Jokic and Jamal Murray, number 2, number 1, respectfully, in career points per game increase.
So perfect. God, how did we eat this well this year? He had 8 turnovers
retire.
in back-to-back elimination games versus the Hawks in 2021.
I mean that pesky, gritty, lockdown Hawks defense that they stymied a lot of teams before.
I love this one. I love this one. That jumper, he's got that jumper going all the time, except for in the playoffs. He shot under 20% from 3 in each of the last 2 playoff runs. Under 20%.
Yeah, it was not good. He was not healthy this playoff run.
Oh my God, I can't believe Eric. I
Embiid's
can't
like-
handle it.
Embiid's
I
like,
can't
"We have
handle
blood
it.
on our hands."
He had
Well,
a worse
I mean-
effective field goal percentage in the playoffs than Russell Westbrook. With the chance to go up 3-1, Joel Embiid went 0 for 12 in the second half against the Hawks in Game 4, including a missed layup at the clutch.
Yeah, not good.
Game 5, down 3, 15 seconds left. He missed both free throws in that same series.
I remember this one.
In Game 7, he got stripped by Danilo Gallinari.
I mean, first team all
Game
defense,
7
Danilo
loss.
Gallinari. Always regarded as just a lockdown perimeter guy.
I love this one. What stats of his have gone down from regular season to playoffs? Points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, turnovers, effective field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and that's it. Free throw percentage went up. That's wild, you guys. And then he has just one playoff series win in his career when he played in all 4 games. Every other one, the team has won a game without him.
Oh,
Damn.
man.
Eric, those are damning stats.
I mean, listen, when you pile the evidence, it is a very airtight case.
Oh, wait, I have another one for you.
Where's your bloodthirst?
He once got swept in a series in which he averaged 15 free throws per game.
Listen, I mean, I would have
Dude,
preferred.
you
I
got
would have
swept and the NBA was trying to hand you the series.
Yeah, I would have preferred this after the season. Again, I feel like it's a little thick on. We're going a little, not us specifically, but
All
the
right,
world's
sit this
got a
one out.
little
I'll go
thick.
back over to you, Vogt. Regular season,
There's
last
more?
2 years, 9.2 box plus minus. Playoffs, 1.0 box plus minus.
Listen, the reason that we can't let this go is the direct juxtaposition that was done by others. And forever it was about, well, you got to get it done in the playoffs, and this guy doesn't get it done in the playoffs. Meanwhile, as the only people alive who had watched Jokic in the playoffs, that was always wrong.
Right.
And so, yeah, man, that thread is long, but it's worth talking about.
I
If those
skipped a
were
few.
all the reasons that Jokic couldn't win his third
Right.
straight MVP. Not to relitigate that, but listen, Nuggets fans this is going to happen, right? Philly fans borderline asked for it. There was
Joel Embiid asked for it.
There was a
man.
fan base war, and this is what happens.
Look, if you go out and you go on an MVP press tour like he
2
did
years in a
and
row.
slander not only like your top rival, but the guy who has won the last 2 MVPs,
And your teammates.
slander him publicly.
Right.
In The Athletic, like in a national article, like he knew exactly what he was doing. I mean, I can't feel bad about it after that.
I agree. I'm very curious about Eric's
He does
soft heart here.
He has a lot of James Harden in him, and it's really disappointing. And of course, him ending up with Murray and Harden and being in this situation feels like pretty appropriate. But it is a bummer actually, and I do think much like Murray just building Harden World in Houston, Philly building this nothing matters till we have all the assets we need. They built a monster, man.
My point though with the
Philly's
though,
creating cap space.
We're,
Haven't you heard?
like, we're no longer comparing Jokic and Embiid. This was just merely it is funny that Embiid is higher than Anthony Davis when Anthony Davis, yes, once was in the bubble. This last year he was also really good in the playoffs, and then he does have a good playoff run with the Pelicans. I know it's kind of forgotten, but they did beat Dame. Like, he has good playoff performances under his belt,
I agree.
whereas Embiid doesn't. And it is funny that he is ahead of Anthony Davis. I'm now not indignant about Jokic, who's unassailably above these guys.
Oh, yeah, we're doing fine,
It's more
yeah.
that I'm like, I don't know. I feel like Anthony Davis is tougher.
See, that,
Those
to
poor
me,
Lakers
this is
fans.
even more
yeah.
egregious as advocating for Anthony Davis. Like, then for
I'm more advocating for Embiid to get lower to Davis.
We need
Yeah.
to pick a dark horse center that we just back and we push as the third best center alive.
I'll go.
Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is so inoffensive.
I could stand Bam.
yeah, let's stand Bam.
I
Stand
could
Bam.
stand Bam
Stand Bam.
Adebayo.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I could talk myself into Bam Adebayo and Joel Embiid in the same tier. I could get there.
Yeah, for me, like all the Joel Embiid stuff is like I feel so above it now that it feels like
Yeah.
I get that.
it feels like
Punching down.
It feels like
No,
punching
this is our
down, dude.
Warriors
Like,
era. This is what did you have to do when you're on top, looking down on the league?
but my thing is like I don't hear them anymore. Like they chatter. I don't care what they say. We're at the top and it doesn't matter.
No,
like,
that thread
I've
did
never
rule,
seen.
though.
I've never seen
Yeah.
an argument ended with such an emphatic point to the point that it is like internet arguments. We've said this. Internet arguments are never
they never resolve.
resolved. Except this one. This is the one case where it is so over that I don't even want to have it anymore because it's not a debate.
But we're not having it about Jokic. Here's my point.
It's like doing presidential debates after the election.
Here's my point. Anthony Davis has sat out a lot of regular seasons and or played very, very soft and weak and uninspired. But he does have some good playoff runs. Joel Embiid has had some great regular season runs and has nothing but stinkers really in the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah.
With a couple like, okay, he was all right there. And my point is, this is the year, this is the offseason. Murray falls under this exact category where people just kind of pick the guy they like more and then point to whichever one fits. Of
course.
And it's like with Murray, yeah, but he has never done the regular season. With Embiid, yeah, but his regular season is unbelievable. So Anthony Davis, this is all I'm pointing out is at some point we have to pick the lane that actually matters the most and kind of emphasize it. And those two guys, to me, each are missing one of the other.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
And it's obvious which we should emphasize more. I mean, come on.
The playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was told that we need to see it in the regular season.
It's so funny. I know that the very easy smug pivot here is just to buy into ring culture as hard as possible.
Yeah, dude.
But a part of me does feel like I still the regular season still matters to me. And everyone goes, well, Denver had an easy playoff run. I'm like, yeah, because they kicked everyone's ass all year.
And also,
And because
no,
they were
didn't.
better than people realized. That,
Yeah.
honestly, this is the thing. It's not just playoff. It's not just ring culture. It's we watched Jokic. He was better than everyone on the court, and he was
Right.
on the court with some of the best of this generation.
Yep.
But I
And,
will say
and
this,
then the result was they won.
I will say this, going back to the original point, and because it's really, Seth took the time to make this, it's impossible not to pick it apart. Like, I'm not digging, it's not a dig on him. Going back to Eric's point, in defense of Seth's list, Embiid also did, in fact, win that MVP. AD hasn't won one yet.
Yeah.
So there's just things in both directions.
I want to see a tiered list of players Nikola Jokic has beat in the playoffs versus a tiered list
know.
of players Joel Embiid has
Oh, I love
beaten in the
it.
playoffs. Not rankings, tiers.
Tiers.
And I
He's
would,
probably got 1, 2C, a couple
I
2
would bet
Ds.
when does where does Fred VanVleet, who's the best
Yeah.
player he's beaten potentially, come
Trae
in?
Young probably. It's probably like
What's
like
Trae Young? Tier 4C?
I'll find out during this break.
All I know is that
Tier
if I had
4C.
on my team 1A or 1B, B2, whatever, I would stop watching basketball.
If
If
what?
I had anyone other than you, if I had to cheer
Oh,
for
sure.
either of those guys, like to me, there's Jokic and there's the rest of the
There
sludge.
might be an actual formula to this. We'll get to that on the other side because I have been looking at these and just seeing where different teams fall. There's a little bit of a pattern. We'll talk about it on the other side, as well as where Murray is, which is the real story.
Guys, AG1. Look, when I
no,
wake up,
AD2A.
AG1, a tier 1
was good.
way to start off your day. When I get up in the morning, I get up, take a shower. I don't pour coffee immediately.
What?
I pour a cup of AG1.
Yeah,
it's the
dude.
best way to start your day. I automatically feel like I'm awake. I'm
Dude.
already going. I'm already ready to start my day. But it's not until I have that glass of AG1. It's a great way to start your day. It's perfect with every diet. No matter what types of food you eat, what types of food you stay away from, AG1 has got you. If you want more energy in your daily life, optimize your immune system, if you just want to feel healthier, if you want to just get up and just have more energy when you start your day, check out AG1. If a comprehensive solution is what you need for your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/nuggets, drinkag1.com/nuggets to check it out. Just 1 cup of AG1 packed with vitamins, minerals, get you started on a great day.
Nearly identical read from me here. Same thing about the morning. We're talking about Kind Love. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. One of the first dispensaries in Colorado since 2010. The original Boom, baby. Known for cultivating some of the highest quality cannabis in the state. If you try Kind Love, please try it responsibly, as I have in the past. And I can tell you quite confidently that I love it. I love their flower. I love the Turbo Core technology. If you are into rosin or resin, they have a select shelf rosin for try that's called Raw Sin. It is wonderful. Also, get it while it's hot on their flower shelf. You can get eighths for $20 out the door and ounces for $100 out the door. Back in my day. Visit one of our stores in Cherry Creek or North Denver and mention DNVR. Receive DNVR exclusive
He's
discount
actually
of
pissed.
25% off all Kind Love flower, pre-rolls, and their Turbo Joint line. You can also visit their website at kindlove.com and use that code for DNVR. Remember, Kind Love, I've tried it. I like it.
There you go. All right, back here, segment 2, DNVR Nuggets Podcast. Don't forget, guys, we are live tomorrow at a different time. Why? We're live at 7 p.m. right here from the bar, and we want/need you guys to come join us for this. It's going to be a good time. From 6 to 7, we're going to be signing the books, Golden Era, our book from this year's playoff, or really from the whole season. You can also pick them up. If you haven't picked up your copy, come here. It'll probably be the cheapest place you could buy it because there's no shipping or anything. You just pick it up. If you want us to sign it, we'll sign it for you.
I've been working on my signature.
Working
FYI.
on the signature. And then on
Been
top
practicing.
of that, our live show from 7 to 8, a lot of fun. We haven't done one of these for years. They are fun, interactive way. We're going to have a sheet. When you walk in the door tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we're going to have a sheet for you to fill out. It's got a little bit of trivia on there. It also asks you your hot take. So come prepared with a Nuggets hot take, and then we're going to read them live on the show and rate how spicy of a hot take you gave us. There's also opportunities for you to jump on the show and ask a mailbag question, jump on the show and play some of the games that we're going to be doing. So if you want to be on the show, come on down and hang out with us. And if you don't want to be on the show, you don't have to. You can just come and laugh at Eric's jokes to make him feel a little bit better.
We're
That
laughing
won't
Sixers
work.
fans together, you know?
Guys, Jamal Murray has moved way up in the ranking. He is now a tier 2C player.
Whoa,
Okay.
2-2-C?
Okay.
He's a 2C.
Mama.
We made it, Mama!
I don't need any more context.
So there are only 4 players in 2C. Let me give it to you. James Harden.
Yup.
Rough start.
Whoa,
I mean, he's a
Jesus.
good player still. He's still a good
Whoa.
player. Paul George
This is a good tier. It's good company.
and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander
Didn't start
along
off
with
that
Jamal
good.
Murray.
I
This
know.
is 2C. So first of all, we kept talking about Shai versus Murray, who's better. This is the playoffs versus regular season thing. They're in the same tier. And then what I love about this tier is it's 2 players that are young and rising, and then it's 2 players in Harden and
That
Paul
are
George who are
meteorically falling.
well, no, but they're both great players who just have they've lost some of the shine in the last few years. But nonetheless, you wouldn't argue that Paul George, James Harden is a great player. What do we think about this 2C ranking here? Go ahead.
Can I inquire for 2B?
So 2B, yeah. Damian Lillard, John Morant, Anthony Davis. That's the whole tier.
It's a strong 2B.
They're very true. And then if you go to 2A, you get Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Kawhi, LeBron, Jimmy Butler. So Murray is
I think this is good.
Murray is in really, really good. I would say this is probably the highest ranking we have seen Jamal Murray, having him in that company.
Yeah. I really want to drop James Harden from this tier.
No, dude.
He's too good. He is good, though, man. He's actually
Fall
now
like tears.
underrated somehow.
Yeah. But it's like, who do you want if you had to win a game and the aliens have the lightsaber pointed at the world?
Give me Andre Iguodala.
Give me Jamal
Iguodala.
Murray and do not give me James Harden. I mean, that is clear as day to me.
James Harden is good, though, in almost every other circumstance.
This is where
When the aliens are like, yeah, whatever, we're good.
They're
like-
very attractive aliens.
the aliens are really into rings culture.
They're like, we're thinking of going to Houston.
I think this is fair, and I do think, again, going back to trying to understand the national perspective, if I'm forced to look for differentiators, while it is, of course, ridiculous in any other argument to say, I just need Jamal to do it in January, it does. His career regular season numbers are underwhelming when stacked up against these guys. He's on this list because of what he's done in the playoffs, deservedly so. My point being, I think what it would take for Jamal to go up a level would just be that consistency in the regular season from the perspective of doing rankings or tiers, I should say.
Tiers, not
Excuse
ranking.
me, tiers.
This is the pitfall of the tier versus the ranking is that by having them in the same tier, they are the same. James Harden, Jamal Murray. In ranking, you say one is better than another. So it's like when you're like, oh, okay, do I look at James Harden and Jamal Murray as the same guy? I'm like, okay. As you say, James Harden, former MVP, now got like behavior off the court so loathsome that it has made people forget that he actually has a lot of really positive NBA qualities and accomplishments. But he also is probably, when it's all going to be said and done, like when Brick Muse gets a hold of the James Harden playoff
Thread.
like failings thread, like this is like one of the biggest shrinkers in the spotlight that the game has ever seen, in direct juxtaposition with Jamal Murray, who doesn't do it in the regular season for various reasons, but has shown in the biggest moments he is not only ready for the moment, he is able to show you different gears you didn't know existed. And so, like, in that way, I'm like, I don't want those two grouped together. I want Jamal to be definitively ahead of James Harden.
Yeah.
But your larger point, the original point, like, man, like this cloud of respect, like we're just eating. We're eating this summer.
One
man.
reason why the playoffs was such a revelation for me is because, I mean, you hear all the time about players saying, oh, the playoffs are so much different than the regular season. Like, there's just so much pressure, and every possession is so important, and you either rise or you shrink from the moment. And when Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray go out there, and it's not only that it looks like they're playing a regular season game, they raise their game to a different level than it was in the regular season. And you're going up against all these guys who just can't do that. And then you get to the most pivotal moments, game 6s, game 7s, and you see guys like Devin Booker who just don't have it. Like, they just don't have it.
Can be bounced into the playoffs with an average of losing by 30 points.
And then you look at Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, and they just have it.
I mean,
that to me is the ultimate distinguisher, in my opinion. Do you have it when it's winning time in the highest pressure situations, elimination games in a playoff environment? And Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray might have it more than anybody else in the NBA.
Like, in those instances, every other outside factor that you can bring to the table is stripped away. You can't be like, well, you know, they were tired, they were traveling, they had a back-to-back, It's like,
none of that.
No, this is for all of the marbles. Like, when it matters, absolutely the most. Like, this is true foxhole stuff.
Also, these two guys have played in 53 playoff games together on the floor together and 4 game 7s together. So this title was not the beginning. We know that. So we've watched them win and lose in crunch time and figure it out why they've won and lost in crunch time on the highest stage so many times. There are some guys who are still just trying to get past these certain thresholds. You know, Jokic and Murray have seen it from both sides of the fence. And I just can't imagine how much whereas the playoffs would make an inexperienced player tighten up, I actually think that Jokic and Murray tap into a higher level of confidence now, almost than they have in the regular season. And that's just something, like, they are battle tested in a way you need a champion to be.
So guys that are in tier 3, even below now Murray, Bam Adebayo, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, De'Aaron Fox, Trae Young, Kyrie Irving. So basically, I say all these names to say I actually don't mind James Harden being in there. I think James Harden is like Murray, hard to quantify. Harden is at an all-time low in terms of, like, things that don't directly matter to, like, how he plays the game. And also, he is now, with the twilight of his career, does appear to just be a loser. So, like, we have that going on. But, like, we can't admit that he has some great, even playoff series. He has like a 35, 7, and 10 playoff series at 47% shooting in his recent history. So it's not like he's always been terrible. He's just a front runner. But nonetheless, Murray being that high, I thought was really interesting. If we keep going down this list, though, here's what I love. The Nuggets don't have anybody in any of tier 3.
Is there alcohol in these? Do you guys know?
Do you feel drunk?
I think there is. Yeah.
What is that?
I thought I was just drinking a flavored seltzer. All right, I'll get back to me later.
Tier 4A. 4A features both Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. I love this, that those guys finished together in the same tier. And just to give you a frame of reference here, so yeah, Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter, 4A. Evan Mobley, Kristaps Porzingis, Robert Williams, Andrew Wiggins, OG Anunoby, DeMontis Sabonis, Brandon Ingram. So this is a tier of players where the number ones, Brandon Ingram, are kind of like underwhelming number ones, but the role players, OG Anunoby, Andrew Wiggins, Robert Williams, are pretty elite role players.
Right.
That's the tier they're in.
Yeah. I guess I'm good with that.
Do they feel like they belong in the same tier to you?
Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr.? I mean, they're either in the same tier, or I would have Aaron Gordon in a slightly higher tier than Michael Porter. I don't think I would have Michael Porter ahead of Gordon under any circumstances. Again, you guys know this by now. My view of every player on the Nuggets is through the lens of the playoffs. It really is. Like, again, like I just said, this playoffs was like an eye-opening experience for me, just watching who raises their game and who doesn't. And so, like, regular season is important, absolutely, but from now on, I'm always putting I'm always putting a preference on what guys do in a playoff environment, and that goes for the Nuggets and everybody in the NBA.
And I'd agree that Aaron Gordon is in a more mature place in terms of just the floor of his utility in that environment.
Yeah.
I do think Michael Porter Jr. legitimately is not getting enough credit for how good his playoff run was, particularly because he didn't shoot well in the finals.
In the finals, only in the finals.
Only in the finals. He actually was pretty good. I think I'd agree with you that if I had to, proverbial weapon to my head or whatever, Gordon over Porter. But Porter, I'm not comfortable with it. And here's the other thing. Porter has more headroom there. Like Gordon's role with Denver, I think, is fixed. Whereas by the end of the season, Porter could be a significantly different tier.
Here's what I love. I think they're the same tier. And I can't believe it took this long for me to really realize it. Because I keep thinking, too, like, I don't know, Aaron Gordon feels like he's more of the big three. Or
I think they're
whatever.
the same tier, man.
But I actually just think they're the same tier. I mean, scoring is the single most important thing in basketball. Forget this, like, defense is half the game or whatever. Scoring, if you can score, and then in particular, if you can shoot from distance, it's so important. So Aaron Gordon probably checks more boxes. But Michael Porter really checks the single most important box, and it's the two of them together that make it so.
Well,
that's
just it. Is that each excels where the other is not as strong. Like they are the yin and yang that make that starting five so powerful because you've got outside shooting with Aaron Gordon, or excuse me, well sometimes, but Michael Porter, but then you got inside presence with Aaron Gordon, defensive prowess. Michael Porter, not his strength, but like not a slouch, but. Yeah.
You also have two forwards in the same tier, which is almost like, you could build a big three where your third player is a higher tier guy, but the way that they fit into the ecosystem without needing to eat more than the other, but B, next to each other present matchup problems, that probably provides more utility than just adding. Let me find a guy. Let me find a name. I don't know, like a Bradley Beal into the mix. So I don't know. We'll see.
I love it. And just for reference, can I take a quick victory lap here? I told you guys, I used to be made fun of on the internet by people when I said Aaron Gordon was better than Jeremy Grant. Seth Partnow, Jeremy Grant, 4C. 2 sub-tiers below Aaron Gordon. I just wanted to point that one out because I love that used to be a thing that could get you made fun of for saying and is now more or less a consensus pick. Yeah. All right, let's take a break. By the way, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, same tier. All right, let's take a break. Let's take a break. On the other side,
incredible.
On the other side, I want to take
both
a look.
Incredible players.
I have some graphics made that maybe hint at a right formula for how to build a roster.
Guys, Breckenridge Brewery is the official beer of DNVR, and the beer of the month is the Mountain Beach Sour. You can get it for $6 here at the DNVR Bar. So if you're coming down tomorrow night, live podcast, 7 p.m., get here at 6, get settled in, maybe sit down at your table with the fellas, with the ladies, order up a couple Mountain Beach Sours, $6 of beer of the
Mountain
month.
Beach Sour season for like another couple days.
I know. You got to get it while it's hot. Last month.
We're dumping in the street at that point.
Last month that it's the beer of the month at the DNVR Bar.
That it's the best Breck Brew season. Do you know what it is?
What's going to be the next beer
The
of the month?
unofficial beer of fall?
It's gonna be
Avalanche
the
Amber,
Avalanche
baby.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I haven't had one for like 6
it
months.
is, it
I
is.
can't wait.
It would be thematically wrong.
I would, man. I got to wait for it to
No,
drop
I
like
know.
10 more degrees. A dark beer in the summer is kind of rough. It's a rough one.
You can get the Mountain Beach Sour at the DNVR Bar. You can get tons of other Breck Brews at the DNVR Bar. If you don't know where to get Breckenridge Brewery, check out the Breck Brew beer locator. Punch in your zip code, tells you where to get Breck Brew. Breckenridge Brewery is the official beer of DNVR.
Hey, you know what's cool?
Hey.
Rugby. You know what's even cooler? The rugby culture in Colorado, particularly at Infinity Park. The 2023 Rugby Town Sevens tournament will take place.
I was there yesterday because we did the Denver Sports
I was
Podcast.
7 words into that read.
Well, I'm going to
Just
give a
for the
personal.
record.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a personal story here. I was down there yesterday to interview our guy Colton Strickler, who, by the way, really knows his Denver sports.
He whips ass.
Dude, he's awesome.
I love Colton. I love
I
Colton.
do too, man.
Trying to hang out
Huge
with him more,
Colton
to be
Colton
honest.
guy. And we also had
underrated. He was at Summer League.
Yeah, he was at Summer League.
Yeah.
He just was randomly there.
He just
watching
pulled up
Nuggets.
on us.
Dude, he was unbelievable. And then we had a Dallin Stanford who used to play for Team USA and now is like the Dick Vitale of rugby.
Oh, just the GOAT commentator in rugby.
He really is though. The
Yeah.
guy was freaking awesome. Sevens is
He
like
follows me on Twitter.
Sevens is like 3-on-3 rugby. And there's a big tournament at Infinity Park this weekend. So if you're looking for something to do that's cheap, $10 gets you in. You watch, it's like Summer League where you watch like 20 matches. They're all 14 minutes. These matches are 2 7-minute halves. And it's like only 7 players on the pitch. So it's like super fast paced, super hard hitting, super fun.
It's a spectator friendly sport. It really is.
Bunch of taco trucks,
really
a bunch
is.
of alcohol.
And
$10, guys. I'm telling you.
Colorado and Infinity Park are a great place to tap in. It's a thriving culture. And that was a great anecdote, Boss. Thank you so much. DNVR will have watch parties for the matches this year. Also, check out the DNVR Rugby Podcast hosted by that homie, Colton Strickler. Hey,
He knows his sports, man.
Also, if you consider yourself an elite athlete looking for your next opportunity, looking to change it up and challenge yourself, rugby just might be your next ride. All types of opportunities at Infinity Park. So check them out. Bask in the thriving rugby culture in Colorado.
All right, in Tier 4C, by the way, just real quickly, KCP, that's where he found himself. Tier 4, not even Tier 5, Tier 4. And he was in there with Bruce Brown, which I thought was very interesting. Same tier. Tyler Hero, Zach LaVine. This is Denver's 5th best player. He's there with Zach
championship
LaVine.
does a lot for you.
Championship really does do a lot for you. Now,
It's actually kind of insane that he's in the same tier as Zach. I think.
now, Kel, I gave you 3 comparisons here. I made little graphics here. Eric, you're going to be so proud of this graphic work.
I'm sure that I will.
I did. Go ahead and pull them up, Kel. We got
Wow.
Nuggets versus Suns, okay? And here's our tier. If you look at the distribution, Denver obviously has the best player on earth. And then they have Murray right there at the edge of Tier 2. Phoenix has 2 guys ahead of Murray, kind of bunched up. Although, again, isn't it a little weird? Books behind KD again, still like
I don't understand.
everybody
I would
has
be
it.
so furious if I was PHNX.
Dude,
So-
they should run that
But
KD
they're
guy out
not.
of town.
They're not. They've
They
bought into this.
should be.
It's so weird. Like they
like
really
Book, though.
have.
This would be like if we traded Jamal Murray for like James Harden 3 years ago, and all of a sudden Harden was ahead of Yoke.
This is like if In-N-Out came to town and we were all like, hell yeah,
Yeah, we're like,
love it.
I mean, I
It's
do.
our restaurant,
I actually
baby.
do. I actually do like.
It's
In-N-Out.
it's better.
Although I've
It's
not-
way better in California.
I've not been to In-N-Out in Colorado.
Don't.
Really?
It's not as good.
Well,
here.
it's like I mean I don't want to wait for it. I don't care.
Sounds good.
But then what I love here is then you have Bradley Beal in that Tier 3. And I saw this recurring pattern. And then, of course, the Nuggets, all the other starters are right there in Tier 4. And the Suns don't have a 5th guy, obviously, in the top 5 tier. I saw this pattern over and over again. I kind of wondered if you need, the best way to have this is 2 players. First of all, you need to have one of the Tier 1 players. You just have to have that
You
in the
have
NBA.
to.
You kind of have to
As
have
much
a
as
top
we
guy.
love the Nuggets team building, they have the best player in the world. Pretty substantial part of what's
Very,
going on.
very rare not to have a Tier 1 player and still be able to keep it up there, Kale. Because then I kind of think Tier 3 is the no man's land. In Tier 3, there's a lot of guys that are like, if they're their second best player, are they not good enough to be your second best player? And if they're their third best player, are they, that's like too high of a role, like they're too good for that. I kind of see that pattern. I look at Denver and I go, Tier 1, Tier 2, 3 and Tier 4. That might be the perfect way to build a roster.
I agree.
It is the perfect way to build a roster if your guys in Tier 4 are willing to buy in.
Yep.
That is the key.
and if your guy is 1A, you know what I mean? Their best
Right.
player is the best player.
Like when it comes to the Suns, I'm confident Bradley Beal will be bought in. Like he's done enough losing in his career.
Man, I don't know.
I'm at least optimistic in year 1 of Bradley Beal on the Suns. He's going to buy into being that third option. DeAndre Ayton, like I'm not optimistic that he's going to be bought into
Great
being
run,
a
Team
tier
Bahamas.
4 player. I don't think DeAndre Ayton's going to be happy with seeing this tiers list debuted.
I wish he was Tier 5 just for that reason,
Yeah.
just for him.
But
Man, we got to root for Bahamas. We need him to go off as the guy.
he's like, I'm tier 3,
Yeah,
baby.
He's like, no, I'm better than Book.
I'm tier 3C.
We
not
need this
tier
to be the
4.
year Aiton's like,
Give me the ball.
oh, Bradley Beal came in to be our 4th best player. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're really in the same tier. But if you can get those guys to buy in, you're golden.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the Lakers here. Pull up the Lakers one next. Look at that. They got 2 guys in Tier 2A, which might be a little, I still buy LeBron a little bit. But then, of course, look at their guys a little more spread out. Again, I guess kind of feel like Denver's layout of this. If, by the way, D'Angelo Russell in Tier 5 almost lessens Tier
That's
5 to me.
Disgusting.
To be fair, he's at the very end of
He's
tier
like
5.
the last
How is
guy.
he a tier 5?
The problem that D'Lo has is that for us is that he went against the Nuggets and was shut down to the point of absolute embarrassment. But he had he had a great shooting season last year, but we would never know it because Bruce Brown made it his personal mission to just erase D'Lo from
Look,
the
D'Angelo
annals of
Russell,
history.
he played a lot for the Lakers last season. Is he going to play a lot for the Lakers next season? That's an interesting storyline.
I do think that for the most part, the Lakers have a a good distribution here. Like if D'Lo was a tier 4 player, you know what I mean? If he was a different player is what I'm saying, I would think, okay, I actually kind of like the way this is, with the exception of the fact that LeBron and AD are both mistime prone.
Right.
I do think that's actually a good distribution.
But I think you can even say like Jokic and Murray, LeBron and AD, let's just cancel them out. Let's not
Sure.
split hairs and
All
say
right.
they cancel out. Now you're looking at tier 4 and going, is Austin Reeves better than KCP, Gordon, and MPJ?
Of course not.
He's
No.
not.
You know what I mean? And that's where it gets down to. Is it's like, hey, this is the perfect setup. All right, go to the last one, Boston, because Boston comes in with the most top 5 tiered players of anybody in the NBA, but no tier 1 player.
By the way, Seth, thank you for this.
Right?
Seriously, this is correct, I think. But I think Tatum's really good. You know how good I think he is?
Tier 2A?
Right there.
Tier 2A,
Yeah.
you're right.
Nail on the
Don't
head.
you like now why there's a tier 2A? Because it's like, no, he's not tier 1B, he's tier 2A. It's
Or
like
he
a
could have just
different...
been like the 6th best
Yeah,
player.
either one would have worked for me. But just kidding, Seth. Honestly, I respect the work you put into this. I would never. So yeah, but I think he got that part right. By the way, I actually agree with this sort of head-to-head juxtaposition. I think Boston is really solid.
Yeah.
I think their best player is a 2A guy, and Denver's best player is a 1A guy, and that's your difference.
Dude, I think Michael Porter, seeing more and more of who's in tier 4, Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, they feel like more tier 3 C guys to
Okay.
me than tier 4 A guys. Because they are clearly,
Derek White.
to me, in a different tier than Derek
Yeah,
White,
you're
Robert Williams, Kristaps Porzingis.
Can I tell you something? I actually think the tier's good. I think all of those guys are actually more tier 4C or 4B.
You
I
could
think
bump
it's
them
those
back.
guys. I think it's those
You
guys.
could bump them
Yeah,
back.
I would give a tier for each. Like there'd be tier 1 would be 1, tier 2 would be the second best player.
The same
tier 3
the same
would
joke.
be the third
we still
best
got
player.
the same number 3. Same as all right, what is that the last one, Kel? I just think Denver might have the perfect setup. Tier 1, tier 2, and 3 and tier 4. I love it. This year, real quick, next year when we do this, anybody hop into the top 5 tiers?
On the Nuggets?
Yes, Christian Brown, tier
Bro,
5 somehow.
Did you guys see the image of
I mean,
Chris-
if Bruce Brown, what was he, tier 5? Tier 4?
He was tier 4. See?
Christian Brown could be tier 5 if Bruce Brown was tier 4 this
Did
year.
you see the image of Christian Brown
With the
He's
beard?
got a beard?
No, I didn't.
Holy smokes,
All right, during
dude.
break, we got to find this,
I'll-
Kel.
Did you see the picture of him working out of reads in the pick and roll?
Oh,
It was a great
who
read
needs
to
that?
Zeke Naji.
my
Who
God.
needs that? That's
Uh,
nerd stuff, dude.
Take a
I'm talking
break.
about the beard.
On the other side, guys,
Getting
let's
ready
look
to
at the
take on
World
Bruce
Cup.
Brown roll.
The World Cup, FIBA World Cup starts here in like 12
ready to get
hours.
kinky with him.
Let's look at the best bets for the World Cup.
No, there was a video that the Nuggets released.
Yeah.
Christian Brown working on pick and roll reads. It was interesting
I like that they were-
practice drill.
I actually really appreciate that Nuggets are going to replace Brown with Brown.
Yeah, real commitment to the bit.
Well, it's just like it's easier for us.
It is easier.
ShadyRays.com. Use the code DNVR. 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. It's the summer. It's wicked hot out, man. I cannot remember a summer like this where it's so sunny every single day, no matter what. You need your Shady Rays. If you're in Denver,
Cloudier than ever.
if you're probably in any part of the country right now,
says he thinks it's
you
been sunnier
need
than
your
ever. It's been
Shady
cloudier.
Rays. Use the code DNVR. 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses, 50% off ShadyRays.com. You can also go in store, Park Meadows Mall, if you want to try on your Shady Rays. You can do that if that's more your style. But go to ShadyRays.com, use the code DNVR. They got tons of different styles, colors, shapes, sizes, whatever you want.
go.
ShadyRays.com has it.
That's it.
We're good.
Alrighty, guys. I don't know if you knew this, but the World Cup begins at 2:00 this morning. We got games at 2:00. And it goes for the next several weeks. I'm actually excited for it. I've lost a little luster for 2 reasons. One, obviously,
timing.
our guys are out in it too.
You're gonna get-
I
you're gonna
did
get-
not realize.
You're gonna get buried for this take as soon as you give it in the comments
To
from
the-
all
to
the
the
Serbians.
Serbians.
Hey, first of all, if Yoke was playing, I would be up watching.
Same.
If
I
Yoke
mean,
was
I'm
playing,
excited to see what new wrinkles Coach Pesic has implemented this tournament.
I'm a little less excited about that. How about our guy Djordjevic, who is apparently bringing Kyle Anderson off the bench?
How about our guy Dave Dufour, who is in this?
That's
tournament?
right. He's coaching for Georgia,
Can we
right?
talk
Wow.
We forgot.
There's no like more legitimizing thing for a person and more delegitimizing things for a tournament that I've ever heard in my entire life.
Dave Dufour.
Dave Dufour wear a DNVR piece of merchandise on the Georgian
that's
bench
unbelievable.
challenge.
But I'm like, wow, that's really impressive for Dave Dufour. That I'm like, what is this rinky-dink tournament?
I think we missed an opportunity. We should have sponsored Team Georgia.
Team Georgia,
Holy
Cape Verde, Saturday.
Dude,
at
I'm
2
telling
a.m.
you, this is the way the world actually works. You know Rich Paul, how he met LeBron James? Do you guys know the
Did they
story?
just grow up together?
Yeah.
No, they did not.
I know the story.
He was selling jerseys, I think in a parking lot. And they became friends, like through like talking. You know, he bought a jersey. LeBron bought a jersey from him. They bought it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. But it's like
You have your destiny.
Rich Paul had it. He just was doing some random thing, and LeBron they meet. Worldwide Wes was a bouncer at a bar.
Yeah.
And met Michael Jordan, and then became a big mover and shaker. So I just love these. Like Dave DeFore is the world's great. I've said this before. He's the world's greatest networker, and now he's coaching the Georgia national
Dude, this
team.
is
I got to go out with Dave more.
as an old person.
Wait, is he actually coaching?
Yes. He's
The
an
head
assistant
coach.
coach. No,
this is
But
incredible.
as an old person though, that's been in the world of business, commerce, whatever, for a very long time, you come to realize that truly the world is based entirely off of just people you know, relationships. Like somebody's like, I want to do this. Who do I know? Blah blah blah. Like when I was younger, I would be like, man, you know, so and so got to do this job. Like how they get to do that? Thinking that the person that wanted the job done was looking at every possible person that was a graphic designer. It's like, no, they just know that guy.
Right.
So just like know people and you'll
That's
get to
it.
do stuff.
Hang out with people.
Yeah.
All right, let's. Do we have the picture, Kale? Yes. Please
Oh,
pull it up.
hold on. We need to give a warning out there. Warning for the raw sex that's about to show up.
Wait,
not
where's this
that one.
beard at? Do we have to zoom in?
No. That's not it. Hang on. I got you, Kel. I
Yeah,
got you,
dude.
Kel.
This
I
one
got
is.
you.
Did you just search Christian Brown beard?
I did, but this was a Christian Brown tweet.
I got you. Hang on. I got you.
We want the one from the Nuggets where
I
he's
want
like,
the video of him probing in the pick and roll.
Yeah, where he makes a great read.
Yeah,
I got you, buddy.
that read to Zeke.
I got you. Hang on.
All right. While we do that, to win the FIBA World Cup, we have Team USA on. Let's see. Here are the odds for a -125 for Team USA.
Dude, USA should smoke everybody in this tournament.
You think smoke?
Yes, man.
Team USA is tier 1A.
And there's nobody else in that tier. Germany, tier 2A.
Well, an incredible player.
Yeah, I don't think
Here we
anybody
go.
else is in
Here we go.
full
Kel.
tier 1.
First of all, look at this read. But if you look,
Oh!
the wraparound?
if you look closely,
Let's get- I
if you
have
look
not seen this.
closely,
Look at that! Oh!
it's a real beard work in there too.
Again,
Is this a
we
drill, though,
are
where you're-
underestimating
I think no, it's a drill where
Christian
you-
Brown's
on,
offensive
you
work
leap
on
It's
from
designed.
year
It's
1 to
designed.
year 2.
Designed read.
It's a design read. I
I'm
do
I'm telling
love
you
it.
though, that beard.
How
has-
many players on
I
the
didn't
Nuggets can
see-
make that pass?
I mean, if you set up I can make that pass if we set up a drill whereby
all the whatever, but all the same, like
Through two defenders with the left hand mid-air.
But cartoons have taught us.
Right into the pocket, hits him in the numbers.
Oh my god! Cartoons have taught us as soon as you had a beard, it means you're in your evil phase. that
Oh,
you, like,
no, you're right.
Which is great. He's gone into his villain phase. I love it. Like he's not the fresh faced kid anymore that
He's a
somebody takes for.
champion.
Yeah, he comes in and they're like, oh god, I'm so ready for it.
I bought a thing on Amazon the other day, beard grower.
No, you did not.
Swear to God, I'm almost 40, you guys. I'm having these things.
How much
I'm
did
like,
that cost you?
It was like $20 or something.
Okay,
But
I'm very concerned.
I'm very concerned. I'm telling you, you guys might see me with a very full beard this
That'd be
off this
sick.
Or
winter.
you just
I'd
might
be
very full.
lose
sick,
all
dude.
your facial hair altogether.
That would also be
Scarred my
sick.
face.
$20 beard regrower. That's high risk, high high
Googled
risk, high reward.
Best beard grower. This was the one.
There's only $20.
All right, US -125.
doesn't work.
Second place team is France at +800. I almost said France.
You did say France.
I almost did. I caught myself before I got there.
France.
I'll tell you, France. Sorry, Flo. I just don't want to go for France.
I've got a real. Maybe I need to look in the mirror and reflect. Maybe this is genuine prejudice.
Is it
I'm
coming
not on-
off of the disappointing showing from Ismail Kamagate and
Yeah,
Summer
it's a little
League?
bit that. It's a
Has
little
that
bit
jaded your opinion on all French players?
The Wemby hype too. There's just a few things stacking up in a row here. Embiid maybe wanting to play for them, although now maybe also for Team USA some weird way. The team I like as a sleeper pick, Australia at +900.
I always like the Aussies.
I kind of like it, man. This
The
feels
Boomers, I should
the
say.
Boomers. Our guy Jack White.
Yeah.
He's not even a Nugget, so he's not even like we can kind of pretend there. Canada +1,000, Spain at +1,200, Serbia at +1,200. How does Serbia have such good odds?
The respect factor.
They're a basketball nation.
They're a basketball nation.
Yeah, but none of
legendary coach Pesic. Just some history there.
I'm with you. with all due respect to
Without
Team
their
Serbia
guy,
and
you
the
don't have-
culture,
you
they
don't
don't
have-
have their guys. I don't see them winning this
I
tournament.
mean, they're ahead of Slovenia, who has plus weight 1800.
Yeah, that's
Slovenia has Luka.
great. That's
But
crazy.
they
man.
don't have nearly as good of a roster around Luka as they've had in years past.
Yeah, but
They really just don't even have a number 2 anymore.
I guess I respect to the Serbian pedigree, but
Yeah.
the lack of the guys that we know are the guys is tough to
You
bet on.
you have respect for the Serbian basketball system.
Is there a dark horse you like there? Is there somebody? Because I mean, US all it takes is one bad game, right? Like one weird thing.
course.
So is there a team you like? France plus 800.
I mean, I'm
I'm
Australia
sorry,
plus
Germany.
where is your Germany?
Germany plus 2500.
I was going to say
give me
Germany.
Germany.
That seems like good value.
Germany was taking it to the U.S. for a while there.
Yeah.
for
until-
most of that
the
game.
incredible Franz Wagner.
There was then the U.S. was like, oh my god, and they turned
They
flipped
put their
the switch.
They put their best players in, which somehow included Austin Reeves,
Also-
and it sucks,
and it
but
just
it is
like
true.
and Anthony Edwards, like I wasn't
And
on that
him.
show. Like that guy, the switch he flipped for not only being the guy that is willing to take the shot, but hit the shot was remarkable. Like he just pull up threes, guys in his face.
You also talk about guys moving different. Like you can tell a guy moving with confidence.
Yes.
Like he was just like,
Dude, I swear to God, we like I need a 23andMe. I need it. Like I need confirmation that he is a direct descendant of Michael Jordan. I need this.
Don't run that on Paolo Banchero.
Does
He's Italian.
what are,
he
what are
was
those
Australia.
Team Canada odds?
there was fourth plus 1000.
So I still think there's value
There's
there,
good
man.
value.
I still think there's
I
value.
think there is as well.
Yeah, they've got talent, but are they a team?
Are they ready?
Yeah. Team Germany at plus 2500. They're probably not going to win it, but hey, why not, man?
They're
Take
going
little
to be
shot.
a threat.
Top scorer.
Ooh,
I love this one. SGA and Luka are tied at plus 350.
I mean, it's going to be Luka.
Give me Luka.
for
Come on.
sure.
Slovenia Luka is a real.
SGA also scores like that, though.
Yeah, but he's got to feed more mouths than Luka.
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody.
Plus 350. That means you can bet.
Nobody
and win
on
money.
Slovenia is going to be mad if Luka shoots it every single
A
time.
national team Luka.
Not
is,
even their coach.
Is this our
He's
favorite bet?
appointment viewing, dude. He is.
That feels like an absolute lock. Luka most assists also might be an absolute lock.
The Luka usage rate is going to be
Yeah.
studied in years.
Is this our favorite bet? Plus 350 for Luka to
Yes.
lead in scoring?
Yes.
SGA plus 350. Anthony Edwards plus 600. Like, too many people to
There's
score.
too many people. Yeah.
There are too many. And then Bogdanovich plus 900. Lowry Markkanen, by the way, Finland, their odds were horrible. They were like 12th best odds.
I mean, can you name another player on Finland?
Well, not so many, I guess. But Larry Markkanen plus
Eriksson.
900. Jordan Clarkson plus 1100. Is he playing for Philippines? I think he's
Yeah.
playing for Philippines. And then Karl Anthony Towns plus 1100. Anthony Edwards has better odds than Cat, despite playing with a bunch of NBA players.
Have
I'm
you
seen
seen
to
the
say.
threes Towns has been taking?
No, they've been terrible.
They've been like 40 footers.
They're actually hilarious.
Really?
He's just jacking
Off
it up.
1 foot, not squaring up,
Yeah.
just in rhythm, just catch shoot.
He is the best big shooter of all time.
It's actually kind of awesome.
He's changed the game, and he is continuing to change the game.
He won the 3-point competition. But,
He's a great shooter.
He is a great
no,
shooter.
his highlights are actually pretty
but
sick.
he's so insufferable personally that
Yeah.
it's different. It's easy to wash over his actual talents.
It does feel like a lot of guys showed up for these teams as experienced NBA players, and they're like, let's get this done. And Cat showed up and he's like, watch these threes.
Watch these things I've been working on.
I mean, he is playing for a pretty
Yeah.
poor team, though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you know what he's going to do? He's going to shoot the soundboard this year and then say it's a new shot he invented. That's what's going to happen. He'll be the guy, but then
He's like, I call this the Minnesota mid range.
We're in Minnesota now.
He's from New Jersey. We can do New Jersey.
Played Ultimate Frisbee, too. Not a great endorsement anymore. Used to be.
Tournament MVP. I like this one. You got to think it's probably going to go to the team that wins.
I think
because
it's Anthony Edwards.
It's Anthony Edwards.
So
It's-
he's
it's
at
a
plus
lock.
300, and I agree that I think. But listen to the number 2, Jalen Brunson at plus 550. Number 3, Brandon Ingram at plus 700.
That's wasting your money.
This podcast hates Jason Tatum and Brandon Ingram. I don't feel that way. I still like Brandon Ingram.
I've got a dark horse for MVP
He's just
on
to
Team
me.
USA.
Brandon Ingram is to Anthony Edwards like what Jokic is to Embiid, where it's like
I think it's fair. I think it's
he
fair.
is a good player, but he's a
I would
loser.
never vote for him to be the MVP.
Why were they down to Germany, by the way? Who is the guy? I mean,
Well, I mean,
I'm saying no, because here's the funny thing. I meant to bring this up when you were talking to Anthony Edwards. Steve Kerr tried to talk him into coming off the bench. We have Ingram starting.
He
and they
wanted
said
him to be the
the
Olympic
sixth
Melo.
man.
Yeah.
No, well, they actually used Dwayne Wade. They're like, hey, man, back in 2008, Wade came off the bench because Kobe was starting. And his response was,
We don't have a Kobe.
we don't have a Kobe.
it's true. He is the Kobe.
So yeah, that's so true. I
Yeah.
love that response. I just love Anthony Edwards. Anyway, Ingram.
I'm actually with you
If
on
there
that.
was a way to bet it, like the reverse odds that Ingram won't be the
Yeah,
tournament
I
MVP,
would-
If I could
I would
bet,
bet
if I
my
could
house
bet
on that.
who's going to be the biggest Team USA FIBA dropper,
Yeah.
it's Brandon Ingram.
Wow.
His
I
stats
agree.
from the qualifiers to the tournament. How big are you going to drop?
Tyrese Halliburton plus 800. I kind of like him as a sneaky pick.
No,
for
I got
tournament
a
MVP.
sleeper. I got a sleeper that you haven't mentioned yet.
Who is it?
Jaren Jackson.
So, well, he's plus 1400.
That's a sleeper for MVP.
Yeah.
What about those Austin Reeves odds?
I know.
the board.
Like, he
Captain
was,
America.
dude, Austin Reeves was disgustingly good in that.
He's a good player. He's a
I-
solid
it
Legitimately
was
good player.
very difficult for me to swallow. And
How big of a
sucks.
Laker? Who's voting on tournament MVP? That's what I need to know.
Yeah, that is a good one.
How big of a USA media contingent? How many votes does that get?
I don't know how any of this is. I assume because it's a worldwide competition, it's horrifically corrupted.
I could see Jaren Jackson, averaging like 12,
It's Evan Fournier's
12
dad.
and 5.
Yeah, dude. It's
12,
like
12 and 5.
It's like it's like the oil commission. It has they paid for the right for MVP.
The top
voting.
non-American is Evan Fournier at plus 1600. At that point, you're just betting if France wins, who gets MVP, and then you have Bogdan Bogdanovic right there if for Team Serbia. So I thought those ones are interesting, guys. That's the FIBA World Cup. It starts tonight. I won't be getting up to watch these games, but I will tape them and I will watch them as soon as I
Yeah,
get
dude.
up.
This is we talked about this. This is don't watch it in real time, obviously, unless you're a sicko. But also, don't check the phone right when you wake up. Have it ready. Watch it like direct to tape, so it's real for you, and then you can
These
react. in
games
real
aren't
time.
nearly that important for me to do that. I just gotta say.
But I'm just I'm saying
We all
like
have
if you
something
want
different.
to.
I love basketball, man.
This is like
to
if
me,
you want
I
to
know.
enjoy
Am I
the
waking
basketball.
up? Am I tape delaying? Am I taping to watch Finland?
Oh no, the
Versus
U.S.
Australia. That's a good game. That was the one
For
I was
me,
going to
it's
recommend.
only the U.S. games. I know
China
what you mean.
versus Thailand? No, I'm not watching.
Dude, Dominican Republic versus Philippines. Again, you got Kat, you got Jordan Clarkson. I'm in.
I'll catch the highlights.
And then Canada, France. Canada, France. That's a banger.
I'll watch the knockout round.
Canada,
How about
France?
that? Is that good enough?
I mean, you can do what you want. I'm just saying, like, to me, it's not ridiculous to want to watch these basketball games. I love basketball, and I haven't had it for 2 months.
Yeah, no, like I am excited to wake up to Team USA.
You've
games
had
to watch.
you've had the WNBA for many months, Adam.
Wow, getting
true.
me canceled over here.
It's a great point.
All right, guys, that does it for today. We're going to be back tomorrow. We didn't get to lineup roulette, which I'm excited about, but guess what? That just means we'll do it tomorrow.
Oh God, is there
Actually,
an
what is the
We'll,
latest?
we'll save that for tomorrow's show.
Did we hit an off season for talking James Harden? No.